This is 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast episode 160, the Water Tiger Year Traits and Qualities for 2022.
Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast, where each week I talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and an abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easing for Wealth. Each week, I'll cover Feng Shui topics that can help you improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy-to-implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away, and usually in about 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life.
Hello, my Feng Shui friend. We are here to talk about the Year of the Tiger. There is so much new energy that's coming in that I can't wait to tell you about in this podcast episode. But before we get started, I want to make a quick shout out. And it goes to 2 very generous souls who put up an iTunes review for me on 5 Minute Feng Shui, and it is greatly appreciated. I'm going to read you one. Feng Shui, so good and practical, it will ruin other Feng Shui perspectives for you. When I started learning about Feng Shui, Catherine and Katie, her 5 Minute Feng Shui podcast, was one of my first introductions to this field. I love her information, and the theory is worked right away, so I threw myself into learning even more. Turns out most of my other Feng Shui experiences have been negative and unhelpful. Katie's practical. She explains fixes, understanding that not everyone can just pick up and move their stove or bathroom. She applies a modern understanding, and she keeps a positive perspective. I listen to her podcast over and over, and I save every newsletter I read of hers. I wish other Feng Shui experts took her approach. Thank you, Katie. You go above and beyond, and I'm so grateful for all the information you share. I often pray our paths cross and we become real-life friends. This is from JM Dodge 23 via Apple Podcasts. Well, JM Dodge, all I can say is I wish we could be friends too. I'd love to hear from you. Please shoot me an email. I'd love to say hi and send you a quick thank you for such a beautiful review. You made my absolute day. It was great to hear those comments. They were so specific. I really do appreciate it. So thank you for taking the time to put in a review and such a detailed one too. So thank you so much, JM Dodge. You just made my day. I also have another one that I'd like to call out and read you what they wrote. I've been listening to this podcast for over 2 years. Thank you so much. I love listening to the episodes while driving or cleaning around my home. I just moved into a new home, so I've implemented what I've learned in the past from her. She also provides easy to follow practices, and the way it's explained sounds like common sense from other perspectives as well. Her voice is calm and relaxing, which is an added bonus. I've recommended her podcast to colleagues and friends. And this is from Roxanne05 via Apple Podcasts. Both JM Dodge and Roxanne are both based in the United States. And I just want to say thank you so very much. I send you a big virtual hug. And then this is a personal aside, and it is for Jennifer. And my comment to you is hang in there, honey. It's going to be better, and don't you worry if everything doesn't get done. And this goes to everybody listening. If you can't make it all get done for the holidays, do what you can do, but give yourself some slack, and don't worry if you can't be absolutely perfect and get everything all done with wrapping and baking and everything else. You know, sometimes slice and bake cookies are just fine. So everybody, I hope your holidays are going well and that you're not too overburdened or too overwhelmed. This is not the year that we have to be proving anything to anybody. We don't have to. You don't have to. I want you to know that. You should do something because you want to do it. You enjoy doing it. And if you're just too tired or overwhelmed, it's okay. You can put on a sticky bow on the package, or like I said, slice and bake cookies. Let Kentucky Fried make dinner a couple of times. Whatever it is that you need to do, you do for yourself. And remember, save some room for rest, because we all need it, both the mental and the physical type of rest. So important here at the holidays, when I know, especially ladies who do everything. Really, the women, it falls on our shoulders to make everything happen, all the magic with the wrapping and the decorating and the cooking and all that. And, it really should be about being together and enjoying your time. And so this is just a little shout out because yes, I too am under pressure. I write a newsletter each week, try to get a new article out each week, a podcast each week. I've got, a son, a husband, a business, and lots of clients that have been, oh my goodness, I've been so busy with consultations recently. It's just been nuts. But if you're just feeling like it's all a little bit too much, hey, pull back. No one is judging you. And if anything, we all send each other big virtual hugs. And this is your atta girl. If you're a girl, and if you're not, take it at a girl. No matter what you are, anytime somebody gives you an atta anything, right? Atta boy, atta girl, atta way to go. Take it, because you've earned it. We've all gotten here almost to the end of the year. So, look upon that with pride. Okay. Let's dive in and start talking about the water tiger. And I'm specifically talking about the water tiger traits and qualities for 2022 because it's important to know. I like to give things context. Many times when I read forecasts and that type of thing, like like astrology or feng shui or whatever, even business forecasts, that kind of thing. Oftentimes I find that I'm looking through a keyhole. And what I really want to do is I try to give you both the perspective, that 30,000 foot view, that really wide view. What does this really mean in the world? What does this mean to us as a country? What does this mean to us in this part of the world or this part of the country or where I live? And then what does this mean to me in my home, in my bedroom location, in my front door facing direction? And so I try to give that perspective. And to my knowledge, I'm the only one who does. And I think it's amazing to have that view coming from feng shui. This is one of the things I love about feng shui is because you can see things from a really wide perspective as well as a narrow perspective. That is the whole concept of the Tai Chi, which if you're not familiar with, that is that yin and yang symbol. And the Tai Chi symbol can be as tiny as a grain of sand or as big as the whole entire cosmos. And I can't give you the whole cosmos view, but I do try to give you at least a worldly view. So we're going to talk about the water tiger and what it means for you. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the tiger because I think every time we come to a new year and we have a new animal, it gives us a little opportunity to kind of peek inside that animal and what does it offer us? Because my whole concept has been always that if you work with energy, energy works with you. And when you're fighting the tide, it's the tide's fighting you. And that is what I want to take you out of. I want to put you in a nice rubber float with a pina colada in your hand, and you ride the tide. You float on it like you're at a expensive resort, and you are just soaking in something frosty and cold, and someone's bringing you a nice warm towel and that kind of thing. I got a little lost there. But that's the idea, is to help you work with the energy of the year so that you know what to expect. And those animals have qualities and traits that we can learn from and that we can adapt in our lives. And I really think that if you do, then it's going to make a lot of difference in the way your year goes. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about this. The year of the ox was just keep plowing ahead, right? But the year of the tiger, and it's a water tiger, is going to be a very different energy. Now, the tiger is the third sign of the Chinese Zodiac. It is a symbol of passion and power and growth. Even though the tiger is symbolized by late winter, it's actually the first sign of spring when buds and green grass burst forth from the ground. And just think about a tiger. They're either lazily sitting there or they jump and pounce with incredible strength and power. Now, the rabbit and the dragon are also the two other zodiac signs of spring. But it's really the tiger that really fearlessly kind of moves forward through the season and pounces into spring. And it's interesting to note that each zodiac sign has their own Western zodiac equivalent. So in the Western zodiac, the tiger is the sign of Aquarius. Now, a lot of people wouldn't think of this, but the tiger is associated with the northeast, which is the sign of the mind. And Aquarius is also considered to be a thinker, the philosopher, a mover of men and minds. And I'll tell you what, if a tiger told me to do something, I'd do what he said. Anyway, I think that that's really a fascinating part about the thoughtfulness of a tiger. I mean, you see them, and if you ever have looked at tigers, I know I've seen tigers in Indonesia and obviously in zoos, and it's one of those things that when you look at them, you know there is something going on behind those eyes. You just know there is. You can see it. They are thinkers. You might not think that they're analytical, but they are, and they are represented also by the wood element. So that makes them very active, very vibrant, and full of life. The new moon is also ruled by the tiger, rabbit, and dragon because these are the spring signs. These are initiating things, which is what the new moon is all about. It's time to plant. It's time to initiate things. And these are the signs that are ruled by that new moon. And so I always find that kind of interesting too. That little factoid about the zodiac signs and how they relate to the cosmos. Now let's talk about tiger traits. Tigers, they're affectionate, loyal, sincere, and they love to have a good time. They'll give everything they can of themselves, and they even take up humanitarian efforts, much like their Aquarian equivalent. A tiger likes to set the pace for his life and doesn't like to be told how he must live. If pressure is applied to a tiger, the tiger is known to lash out impulsively and then beg with very sincere forgiveness afterward. Tigers are born leaders, and they're ambitious, but they're loving. Ask a tiger what they think, and you get unvarnished candor. Of course, it's not always a truth hammer, but you can always rely on a tiger to be truthful to you. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that because there's a lot of, ways that people talk that they may not always tell you the truth. And that's something that's important, that we be candid and that we be frank at times. However, this is one of those things that is disarming is that authenticity and that frankness. And it's something that can sometimes be a little intimidating, but if you just understand that that's their nature, is to tell you the truth, and that's always a good thing, that will help things in terms of your relationship with tigers if you know them. Now, they're also generous and giving. A tiger is a very sweet and doting parent. A mother tiger is fun to be around, loves kids, and loves to look fashionable too. Usually will have a very impeccable, beautifully decorated home and loves a luxurious lifestyle and a luxurious feeling home, one that she feels really comfortable in and makes her family comfortable in. They're great nest builders. Now, a tiger can sometimes take over the family life, telling everybody what to do. And while they're usually right, they also ensure that the needs of everyone are seen to and that all are taken care of in their dutiful tiger way. As a funny aside, I'm also a tiger. And in my family, I'm known as the truth teller. And when someone asks a question, I'll tell them what I think. And honestly, and in a constructive way, but I also am known as Mama Joe. There's that old joke like, who is she? That's Joe Mama. Anyway, and my middle name is Joe, and so everyone in my family has always kind of joked and called me Joe Mama, meaning that I'm the one that kind of is the caretaker for my family. I make sure that everybody is, fed, clothed, taken care of, hospital appointments, doctor appointments, and whenever someone comes out of surgery, I'm there with my pot of homemade chicken soup. That's just what I like to do, and I like to take care of everyone in my family, and and that's a beautiful thing about tigers. They're very caring and devoted family members. But let's talk about some more aspects of tigers. They are uncompromising. They like to live according to their own inner code, and they make upstanding and trustworthy leaders. You can look at the long reign of Queen Elizabeth. Now, she's a very famous tiger, and it's interesting to me that she adores two animals, horses and her Welsh corgi dogs. Besides the animals, these two are also the zodiac signs that are most compatible with her own. That's right. So tigers, dog, and horse are part of the Trinity, and they are compatible together. And it's maybe a source of strength for her, if you want to look at it like that, because it's often said that if you align with your zodiac allies to your zodiac sign, it gives you more power. And look at her, she's she's sitting on top of it all there in the British Commonwealth. So, she's long lived. She's always taken care of everybody. She's never backed down. She is the quintessence of duty when you think about Queen Elizabeth. Now, tigers are also brave and they don't back down. They are also romantic and seductive. They give of themselves wholly. There's really just no half measure with a tiger and anything in life. Once they're in, they're in. The tiger, again, has a friend and a horse and a dog, and their secret friend is a pig. Now, the tiger's enemy is the monkey, and the lesser enemy of the tiger is the snake. So while this is going to be a great year for any of the friends of the tiger, and that means dogs and horses, and also the secret friend of the tiger, which is the pig. The enemy of the tiger, which is the monkey, and the snake, they create what's called a fire penalty. And they may have some downsides, particularly with health. So if you are a snake or a monkey, I love you, and I'm a tiger, and I love you. But watch out, especially if you're traveling this year. I just want to caution you to be extra careful where you're traveling, and also pay close attention to your health. This is the year that it is going to really work with that 5 yellow energy that we've got coming to the center. And I worry about that for you, my dear friends, monkey and snake, because I actually have 2 of my best and dearest clients and now friends, Susan and Andy, in my Facebook group. They're snake and monkey, and we get along famously. So they're my 2 favorite enemies. If they're my enemies, man, life is good, right? So, but look out if you are a snake or a monkey this year for any kind of health concerns. Really stay on top of that. Watch your travel, that kind of thing, because there's called a traveling star. And it can create some difficulties like accidents, that kind of thing. So just be a little extra careful. Now let's talk about the tiger and the control that the tiger exerts. Of all the signs of the tiger, like a wood tiger, a fire tiger, or a metal tiger, it's a water tiger who shows restraint, has calm demeanor, who can adapt and do the right thing for everyone, not just themselves. They're sensitive, caring, and intuitive, which is water, right? The water tiger has a calm that many of the other tigers don't always show. The tiger sign is both shy and reclusive. They notably live solitary lives. And in a flash, they're a showman who's bold and egocentric and enjoys basking in the limelight. It's true. But look at those tigers. How can you not want to? If I sported that magnificence, I'd want to be strutting around too. The tiger loves being king of the jungle, and I think that this is a much more apt description than his cousin the lion, who's usually crowned with king of the jungle. And that's because, unlike lions, tigers do live in jungles and in cold forests in Siberia. I mean, it's amazing cat, unbelievable range. You talk about stamina, and they were talking. I remember watching a show, something like that a tiger would have a range of 1,000 miles, like craziness. Anyhow, this is something that cat is known for. They don't have limitations. They just don't stay on a plane, the desert plane or in just one spot. And did I mention that they absolutely love water? Now, the water tiger is intelligent, has new ideas and solutions, and tries to put others at ease. And they have the greatest self-control of all the tiger signs. Now, their downfall is procrastination and indecision. Now, isn't that true of all of us? I can bounce. You remember that game Pong? Where that's like the big video game from, what is it, the 70s, I think it was, and you have 2 little dials, and you just watch that one little electronic ball go bung, bung from one side to the other. That's how my mind works sometimes. Anyway, it's something that tigers do. They will just sit there play Pong in their mind, trying to wrestle to a decision. But even though a tiger can drag their heels and wring their hands with the best of them, and the water tiger is no exception. Once a tiger is ready to act, it's quick and decisive. So let's talk about you and the tiger, because what can you learn from them? What's important to know this year? Well, what's important to know is don't let indecision rule your year. Take action. So important that you take action. This is the year that we want to move energy as much as possible. So if you feel like pulling in right now and you're like, I can't get it done, I just can't do it, and you keep pulling in, your timing is actually exactly right for the year. And in fact, the more rest and the more you can pull in, great, because once 2022 starts rolling in, that wave, that tsunami of energy is going to really get us moving again. And I'm excited about that. But I think it's very natural that we may feel that coming momentum, and it makes us want to kind of pull in. All right, well, let's talk about some famous tigers. Now, I mentioned Queen Elizabeth. Also, Fidel Castro. Look at him. He will never give in, right? Never give in. Marilyn Monroe. Jerry Lewis. Look at Jerry Lewis and the muscular dystrophy telethons he did for decades. Amazing. Demi Moore, Joe DiMaggio, Ayatollah Khomeini, Steve Irwin, John Candy, Joe Lewis, Stevie Wonder, Christian Bale, Bill Murray, would you have ever guessed, and Victoria Beckham, and heartthrob Robert Pattinson. Those are just some of the famous tigers. Now, in my forecast for the year, I have talked about one very particular tiger in particular that I think is going to just be the tiger of the year. And I think you would get a kick out of this in my prediction in there. So I haven't included this, even though this is kind of an excerpt from my success pack. I didn't include everything. So if you are curious and you like celebrity stuff, you'll love this part of the success pack. Now, let's talk about the tiger year and the yellow as the reigning star, the 5 yellow. When it comes right down to it, putting a tiger year and the 5 yellow as the reigning star, I do worry about the potential for war. This year has the seed of major conflict, especially because the tiger is often seen as a wrathful and vengeful sign in the zodiac. And in fact, interesting factoid is that World War I and II both began in tiger years. Now, World War I began in 1914, the tiger year, and World War II began, actually, there's discussion about that. And I reasoned it out this way. Many people claim that World War II officially began in September 1939. This is the year of the rabbit, also when my mother was born. But I contend that it was Germany. When Germany took over Austria in March 1938, and then France and Britain were becoming nervous about what Germany was doing, they said, hey, you can take over this portion of Czechoslovakia, when they met at the Munich conference in September 1938, the year of the tiger. And for me, I feel that once Germany had taken over 2 countries in 1 year, that's when the war wheels were really set in motion. So I feel like that was really when World War II started, not when, everybody clicked the starting watch and signed the papers in September 1939. It's real in my mind. Is you start taking over countries, you're starting a war. It's how simple can it get, right? Now this year, obviously, I'm hoping and praying and counting on the water element to make calmer heads prevail, and put the needs and higher ideals of all of mankind and nature and the environment, and in fact, really, right, all of existence ahead of our pride and arrogance and ignorance. Like, oh no, global warming's not true. That's not possible. Well, why are the ice caps melting? Come on, people. Of course it is. You can see it on satellite photos. And if this is like, no, I don't trust that photo. Oh, come on. Anyway. That's sorry, I digressed, but yeah, the environment. We only got one Mother Earth, and I love her, and we got to take care of her, right? Tiger qualities. Let's talk about tiger qualities that you can adopt in your life this year. Again, at the start of the podcast, I was talking about how each year has a different animal. And if we can work with that animal's traits, we can work with those energies that are coming into the year. You work with energy instead of against it, and it doesn't work against you, more importantly. And that's what I really want to avoid, is having you having to do battle with the year. Nobody wants to do that. We want to make it nice and smooth. So we can take this energetic lesson from the zodiac sign of the year. And the tiger has a lot of great qualities that can help us in the year ahead and help us manage better and more effectively in our lives. Now, in 2021, the ox year just kept us, we just kept on keeping on, right? But the tiger is a different animal. The tiger is ready to act and act swiftly. And I feel like I can feel the speed building for this year ahead. I mean, like a lot of people are saying things like, oh my God, how did December get here so fast? It was just March yesterday. It's true, right? It was just Tuesday, a couple of days ago. But it's true. It does feel that way. And that speed and momentum's building. And water years are quick years. So if you think 2021 went kind of quickly, just wait till next year. And in some ways, every little bit of time we get behind us puts that pandemic further in the rearview mirror and us better in control of it. And that to me is a very hopeful quality. So let's talk about the lesson for the year of the tiger. Here's the lesson. Don't waffle, don't dilly-dally, and don't sit on your hands. If you want to do something, do it now. Act decisively and act potently. Now, last year, the ox would gladly sit in the lotus position and would be hard as a bull to move, but not the tiger. When the tiger year comes, it's time to get moving again, building new inroads, exploring new things in your life, your business, and your relationships. It's a whole new energy that we have coming in. There's no more little rats, squeaky rats, or snorting pigs, or snorting ox. It is a big, bold, brash, beautiful animal that's going to come striding in, and everything stops and everything changes then. Now, all signs can benefit from the tiger energy this year. And that's what I want you to know. Every sign benefits in some way. And you can take on some of the signs' most positive qualities. And I think there are many positive qualities to the year and to the tiger and each animal each year that we can take on to help us move in with energy better. Now, let's talk about some of those qualities. Let's talk about your career. Here's what I want to say. Be committed. Now, a tiger may procrastinate or be indecisive, but once they commit, nothing will stop them. Think of that with your life this year. And if you have any doubts about that, let me tell you, you know what it's like to start a feng shui magazine or newsletter, internet newsletter, easing in a cow pasture in South Texas. Do you know how many people told me that will never work and looked at me like, I had said aliens landed on the top of the house? Seriously, I was committed. I saw it. I felt strongly about it, and I did it. You can do that too. So at work, I want you to make an entrance. Ask for what you're worth. Quit playing. Start that business. Look for jobs that have real potential for you, and forget the free in freelance. Your salad days are over. It's time for clients and customers to pay up, and you are way past getting your due. And I hope you're following me on this, because it's time to dig in and plant your stake in the ground and get moving. Now, have you fully committed to investing? The time is now. Get it set up and make regular contributions to your retirement or investment accounts. I know Charles Schwab has a thing called stock slices, where you don't have to get huge amounts of money committed to buy. Well, what is it? I think Google, I don't even know what they are per share now. It's $2,000 or something. That's not easy to go buy a share of Google or Alphabet, but you can buy stock slices. Just do something. You've got to get that momentum going. You want to make more money? Get more momentum, more momentum going for money. So important. Are you ready to finally eliminate debt? Take advantage of opportunities that come this year, because we are going to have some. And then wipe that debt out once and for all. Be done with it. This is a fresh, clean water. This is the water tiger, and it's going to come in and wash everything clean. If you're committed to getting rid of that debt and handling it once and for all, you will get past it. I promise you. Now, as your relationship has been teetering for years, go all in or just cut it off. It's like decide, figure it out, commit. Now, if your health needs fall to the bottom of your to-do list, make you the top to-do. And I tell you that right now, as someone who has been committed to my health, but I could be more committed. And this is something that is changing this year. I am buying a pricey probiotic, vitamin sort of mix thing this year, and I'm going to be starting that. Well, today when I get off of this podcast. And that's my promise to you. So we promise me you'll do something that's important for your health. Promise me you will. It's so important. I care about you. Let's talk about the tiger and money. Okay, lots of people ask me about investments. Wow, the last 3 years have been astronomical, right? We're seeing we're seeing rockets going up into space left and right. That rocket ship isn't just a symbol of something that's going out into the Earth's atmosphere, but it's also a good symbol for the growth potential that we have this year. We've got a water energy sitting on top of wood. The tiger is a wood animal, and it's a water tiger year. What makes wood grow? Water. So we've got lots of growth potential. Now, as a wood animal, I think you should look for investments that are small, overlooked, undervalued, or sometimes just starting out. Because these are the acorns that grow into mighty oaks that grow, grow, grow. Let that be your mantra. Research your choices carefully and thoroughly, and when you're ready to make your move, pounce. I think Motley Fool is a great place to start with their newsletters, their website, for just some good insights about stocks. I think start there. If you don't know where to start, great company to get really good basic information. IPOs, this is another place that you can often get in on the ground floor. Just do your research and make sure that you understand it. And if you don't understand it, make sure it's something that people are going to buy. Many times at the IPO, the stock price will be high and then it comes down that first week. So patience, like the tiger has, is a good quality. Don't buy it right out of the gate. Give it a few days, even a week. And many times that's what happens. I know that's what happened to us when we bought Facebook. I think it started out at 27 or something, and we bought it down when it was 21, a few weeks after it had done the IPO. And it's done phenomenally. And now look at Meta. It's going crazy. All right, let's talk about you and your health in the tiger year. Very important to take care of your health. We know that, right? No kidding. But specifically your immune system. This is your knights, with the sword and the lancet on the horse and everything in your body that fights invaders for you. And let's talk about where this counts most. Because when we're talking about health, your liver is the central organ that's responsible for repairing damaged cells in your body. And certain things tax your liver. So first one up is alcohol. So we want to watch overconsumption of alcohol, medications, and also managing fat and sugars. If you can avoid processed foods and foods that are fried, all the better. Forget my comment earlier about Kentucky Fried. All right, how about Kentucky Grilled? How about something like that? Just fire up the grill and throw a couple of things, chicken breasts on the grill or something like that. Now, your liver is something that can be compromised this year because there are many people that are suffering actually from liver difficulties from being overweight, having harmful foods, upping their intake of alcohol, especially since the pandemic. In fact, I think we're going to see more updates and a rise in conditions such as NAFLD, and this is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce that. And nurses out there, please forgive me. But most people just call it NASH. NAFLD, the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because alcoholics often will have fatty liver, and their liver is compromised because of the alcohol. Then there's also the NASH, the non-alcoholic liver disease that has nothing to do with the alcohol, but it is a condition, and it's often related to a diet that is full of processed or fried foods, especially those things with trans fats. So that means, goodbye burritos, goodbye French fries. Let's go with air fried. Get an air fryer for Christmas. Now let's talk about the tiger and love and what you can do to help your relationship this year. And that is add togetherness. In a relationship, it's easy to be annoyed by petty things, but don't let those small things spoil what you have. Make an effort to bring more romance to your relationship and strengthen the bonds that go well past who left whose sock on the floor. When you're together, be like a tiger and be all in. And that means avoid looking at your phone or being distracted when you're on a date or out in a movie or whatever, or just talking together. When you're together, be fully together. This is one of the things that it aggravates me. It's like when I'm with Tim, I am 100% with him. But sometimes, he will look at the phone, and I've said, hey, listen, you can look at your phone all day, but when we're together, I need you to be with me. Anyhow, yeah, hard driving lady. What can I say? Anyhow, find things really that unite you and give you a sense of purpose as a couple or as a family. And this could be anything from planning a big trip or a renovation or even just spending time gardening together. This is anything you can do that is going to unite your family, that's going to unite you as a couple is so worth doing. Give them a nice shoulder rub, holding hands in bed, soft caresses. This is a great way to extend and deepen your relationship. And those tender feelings can make you feel more sensual and loving in your relationship. And that's never a bad thing. Well, I hope you have enjoyed listening to this about the year of the tiger and what it can bring to you. So let's talk real quickly about 3 things that are very important to know for you in your life. Number 1, be committed. This is the year to really put it to your life in whatever way you're lacking commitment. If it's to your health, is it to debt, is it to investments, your relationship, your health, whatever it is, be committed, be all in on everything as much as you can. And especially those areas where things might not be so great. Number 2 is look for growth potential, whether that's in investments or any area of your life that shows promise. Put your time into it, put your money into it. Look for those investments that have an opportunity for growth, room for growth. And I promise you they will grow. Lastly, watch your health, especially your immune system. Try to go on a pure foods diet as much as you can. I know this has been a really long episode, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening in. I'm going to have more Year of the Tiger information coming up in the coming weeks. In the meantime, don't stress yourself. If you want to pull in, pull in. Have a great week. I'll talk to you on the next episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui.
You know, the Year of the Tiger is coming, and I can't wait to talk with you about what all is in store. We have a clean sweep, a transformational year of water energy with the Water Tiger in 2022. That means big change is coming. No longer will we have the stricture and constriction of the metal years that we've just come out of with COVID and the pandemic. We have got a clean sweep of energy coming in next year, and I can't wait to tell you all about it in my 2022 Year of the Tiger Feng Shui Forecast and Success Pack. Stay tuned right here for a release date that's coming soon.